All right, guys, time to go. Hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another edition of The Stake. And today I want to talk about the press release we saw about the government of the Gambia trying to augment the salaries and allowances of public servants. Yes, it's good that public servants are highly or well remunerated. That's what we want, because we want an effective public service delivery. But it's a shame that it's almost 5 years. This government hasn't done any serious or comprehensive civil service reform. What do we mean by that? Since this government came to being, nothing has been done to strengthening the civil service. Nothing has been done to empower public servants. Nothing has been done to make sure that the best and brightest sons and daughters of this country are in the public service. Why? Because Jammeh decimated the Gambian public service, once the pride of not only West Africa but Africa at large, to the point, if you go to Zimbabwe, there is a report there called the Jangha Report. The Jangha Report was authored by Sarah Jangha to make sure he helped post-independence Zimbabwe get on its feet by making sure that they have a good public service delivery. Back in the day, you had the likes of Demba Ndaw, Hadifai, Eric Christensen, Baba Jan, even Shola Mahoney or Usuja. These were great Gambians who were prided to be the best and brightest of this country, and they were not in private practice or private employment. They were working for the public. Why? Because people saw pride in the public service. But that has changed a lot during the tenure of Jammeh, and it was incumbent on this government to make sure that the first thing they should have and could have done is to make sure that they bring back sanity to the public service. They bring back dignity into the public service. And in doing so, we needed a comprehensive civil service reform. A comprehensive civil service reform will make sure that the numbers go down. We have a lot of ghost workers on the payroll. We have people who are not fit for purpose. Imagine Dahaba being a sub-inspector of police. That's worrisome. That's the Gambia we lived in, and that's how a lot of people went into the system because of political patronage. So the first duty of this government or this administration would have been to make sure that they clean up the civil service, they bring back dignity into the civil service, they empower civil servants, and then go out there and do a serious not a manhunt, but just to make sure that they go after people who will come and want to serve. In so doing, they will make sure that they benchmark civil service or civil servant salaries not to be the same as private sector people, but at least to give people a decent living wage. So having to see the president through his spokesperson or the government spokesperson talking about they coming up with a solution, and the solution is to give people more money. The issue is not giving more money to civil servants. It's getting the right people to be civil servants first and foremost. Then the money will come after. As is today, a lot of people in the service are not fit for purpose. Why? For one to be a civil servant, you have to be selfless. You have to feel a sense of duty and honor to country, to discharge duty and honor to country. Civil service is not for everybody. And there are a lot of people in the civil service today. They have seen the service as a means to an end in terms of their personal gain and personal development. Some go there just to get educated and dump the service. Some get into the service just to make money. And I think these are wrong reasons why we need people in the service. So therefore, if the president in 4 years couldn't fix the civil service, there is nothing he can do now. And the utterances made by the spokesperson that they are going to increase the allowances and salaries, they are now putting a big burden on the Gambian budget. The burden is salaries are a statutory obligation. Statutory obligations are payments that are to be made come what may. Now, given the bloated budget we had in 2021, given the lackluster economic environment we find our country in today, there is no way the government of the Gambia can justify giving anyone a salary increment and allowance increment at this point in time. That is an exercise in futility, and that's an exercise to exacerbate a poor macroeconomic environment. Therefore, I don't know who at the Ministry of Finance endorsed such a proposition, but it's a proposition that is just going to put this economy further downhill. And that's not what the economy needs right now. What the Gambian economy needs is resurrection. The only way this economy can be resurrected is for the government of the Gambia to take austerity measures. Austerity measures meaning slowing down public expenditures, especially on civil works such as road constructions, because these are payments that are due, and once they come due, it's an obligation to the state. So someone at the Ministry of Finance is really not thinking, or the bright future that this country may have is not of significant importance to the planners who want to manage this economy. But back to the issue of the civil service. I believe that any responsible exchequer Minister of Finance, any responsible macroeconomist at the ministry will defer a civil service reform until after the election, until a new administration comes in. Why? There's not much that can be done now against December to change the fortune of the Gambian public servant, because the public servant not only needs money, they need their work environment to be sanitized. They need to be empowered to make sure that security of tenure is prevailed and availed to them, so that they are not there at the whims and caprices of a political appointee or a political person. And this is why the Gambia has found itself where it is today, because you can go to work, it's no longer employment at will, but employment at the behest of the politician. And that is wrong, and I think that's the fourth step in trying to make sure something better happens. So giving people allowances or more allowances, increasing salaries, is not going to change productivity, because productivity is contingent on three things: the environment, the rules that govern how people work, and the protection these people enjoy. Then remuneration will be a factor. But today, if people are remunerated, you give them more money, and still they're scared that they can be fired, because if they don't do what Minister X or Y wants, that's the end of their tenure as civil servants. So what have you changed? Basically nothing, in a nutshell. And that's why the government of the Gambia and PMO and the Ministry of Finance should advise the president accordingly that this decision is a faux pas. This decision is what you call political expediency, and we Gambians are not interested in political expediency. We are interested in making sure we have sustainable public policy that is going to enhance public service delivery, that's going to enhance the quality of the civil service stock, that's going to enhance the prosperity of this nation, not a lip service. And to the president, too little, too late. If you were cognizant of the fact that the civil service is the driving force of public service, the sooner you came into office, your first point of call would have been to restructure the civil service. But oh no, it's not something that's important to you now, and it's not something that was important to you then. Therefore, you are seeing it as a means to political expediency to serve a political need. Gambians are tired of us and our meager resources being used for your personal political gains, i.e. building roads that we cannot afford today, but you leveraging on the lives of kids yet unborn, i.e. once again trying to appease people by giving them more money and allowances. We need better than that, and we need to do better than that. So we need to start talking to you, Mr. President. Now against December, you'll be hearing a lot from us, and we will also be having dialogue with the Gambian, because what you are doing is detrimental to our collective good. And it's high time Gambians tell you that your existence and our desired existence as a nation are now coming into a collision course, and one has to give way, and most likely it has to be you, because we cannot continue this type of life. 22 odd years of Jammeh was just enough, and we had high hopes and aspirations that you will be the person that will deliver this country out of the doldrums it found itself. But no, you continued exactly where Jammeh left off, without arrest and disappearance, and that's not good enough, and we're not going to clap for that, because you didn't give us the little freedoms we have today. We collectively fought for it and made you the proxy and bestowed power onto you. But what you are doing and the way you're managing power is not what we expected when we gave you power to manage on our behalf. Therefore, the time has come for us to once again wake up, rise up, wise up, and vote wisely to make sure that the country gets back to its proper footing and give the dignity and pride Gambians deserve. Gambians are dignified people and want a life of dignity. And what you are doing today is not according the average Gambian a life of dignity, because poverty is entrenched. Destitution is entrenched. Indifference, especially of the political class, is very saddening and worrisome. Therefore, the way you administering Gambia is not what most expected. Hence the disgust, frustration, anger, and dissatisfaction with the status quo, i.e. your administration. So, Mr. President, this little gesture you have done today, no one should tell you, wow, go, mite jarama, because you haven't done anything, but you have done more harm to the economy, because you're bloating an already bloated economy, and it's not going to change the productivity of the Gambian civil servant. Since it's not going to change the productivity of the Gambian civil servant, Mr. President, there are better things you can do with the little money this poor country of ours happens to have. Election is just few months around, and we are not going to allow you to use the public good to make your image look good. We will call you out, and we will call your flagrant abuse of our public wealth and resources. And that's exactly what you're doing once again, Mr. President. And we don't expect that of a leader. We don't expect that of a conscientious patriot. We don't expect that of a responsible Gambian who understands the suffering that the average Gambian is going through. You look at price increases, price instability in our market. The poor has gotten poorer, and the poor doesn't have a stable means of income. Where are we heading? So, Mr. President, whatever that is left of your tenure, make sure you try to redress the wrongs that you were supposed to fix and never decided to fix. Looking good is not going to help you. Putting monies in the pockets of people is not going to help you. What's going to help you is for you to leave a legacy. And I don't know whether what's left of this term you can do something that's going to make sure that you have a legacy. Therefore, the anger that is in and around this country is justified. Therefore, the mistrust that people have is justified, because you had a pact, a contract with the Gambian, and you reneged on that contract, and yet still you have the audacity to look at Gambians in the eye like nothing never happened. This is why we are frustrated. This is why we are not happy. And I always tell Gambians, if we put up a scorecard for you, no Gambian will give their vote to you, for the simple reason, what you were supposed to do for country, you never did. Not only that, what you decided with the people and agreed with the people as a gentleman, you have reneged without impunity or disregard to the desires of the average Gambian. So, Mr. President, voting for you is voting for your personal interests. is not voting for the collective good of Gambians. But yet still, there are Gambians who are indifferent to the collective good because their economic personal well-being is being protected by your status quo. Therefore, they want to give their vote to you. But any well-meaning Gambian, be it an APRC supporter, a GDC supporter, a UDP supporter, a Moral Congress supporter, a Citizen Alliance supporter, knows too well you are not the solution that will take Gambia out of the mess it found itself and out of the mess you have added after Jammeh left. We need to clean our house, and cleaning our house starts with making sure that you are a thing of the past. And Gambians alike, we need to come together to preserve our dignity and pride as Gambians. We deserve better, and we are dignified people, and in dignity we must make sure that anyone who wants to give us a life of servitude, we put them out of circulation. And out of circulation meaning out of the public interest. And out of the public interest is out of office. I've said it and I'll say it again. Nyang Njie has no personal issues with the President of the Republic, but Nyang Njie hates and detests the manner in which our country has been managed under his stewardship. And therefore that in itself is an indictment for us to make sure we say enough. And it's that enough I expect my fellow Gambians to rally behind whoever, whatever that's going to give us salvation. We deserve better, and we have been robbed of 4.5 going 5 years of arrested development that should have been the beginning of a building of a better Gambia. On that note, Gambians, I want us to reflect on how we're going to regain our dignity, how we're going to regain our pride, how we're going to punish people who have a pact and a contract with the people and yet still decide to renege on it. The choice is ours. And like the Englishman will say, every people get the government they deserve. It looks like we deserve this because we accept it. If we think we don't deserve this, we're going to put an end to it. And putting an end to it is to make sure we put a cease and desist order onto this administration, and that's a vote of no confidence come December. That's what Gambia needs. That's what Gambians need. And we need to do this at all costs, regardless of who is happy or not. Conscience, courage of conviction is what should drive our passion to salvage our country. Conscience and courage of conviction is what needs to drive our passion to salvage our dearly beloved Gambia. Our dearly beloved Gambia is crying, yelling, screaming, shouting, wailing, weeping. And we should not allow her to mourn, because that's the only thing left. So therefore, let's get up. Let's organize. Let's agitate. Let's encourage the youths to go out and register in numbers. Let us be vigilant and call out non-Gambians who are out there trying to get cards to make sure that they don't get onto our voter roll. Let us mobilize. Let us show power where power lies. It's we the people who are powerful, and it's we the people who should teach a lesson to any political leader who is not taking us seriously. We need to teach this government and administration, and to be precise, the President of the Republic, that when we voted him in December 1st, we voted him in to put an end to a system that perpetuated self-rule, that perpetuated discretion, that perpetuated corruption, but is the very system that is alive and well today. And that's not what we want, and that's not what we desire, and that's not what we bargained for when we bargained with him. So therefore he has reneged on his obligation with the polity, we the people. And we the people, since we are the trustees and custodians of power, we need to tell him once again where power lies. And when we show him where power lies, he will no longer be His Excellency, but he will be the ordinary, average Gambian Joe. And that's what we need, and we need to do it. But for us to do it, we need to register. And mind you also, we need to put pressure on this government to cater so that the diaspora will vote. Why should the diaspora vote? Without the diaspora, there would not have been a new Gambia. The diaspora bankrolled this freedom we're enjoying today, not only financially, but with blood, sweat, and tears. Jaja Nyas died for you and me. Mr. Jan died for you and me. Many other diasporans laid their lives down so that we can have a better life. So therefore, it's now incumbent on us who are on the ground in the Gambia to push our government and tell them, no vote for the diaspora, then we sanction this government. If you look at the average Gambian household, for every 10 households you go to, 4 are fed by the diaspora. You look at kids going to school, every 100 kids that need to pay tuition, nothing less than 25 or even more are paid for by the diaspora. You look at houses being built in this country, every 10 houses you take, safely say that 6 to 7 are built by diasporan. People going to Mecca paid for mostly by diasporans. It's high time, Gambia, we show gratitude to that cluster and segment of Gambians who are now giving us this breath of fresh air we're breathing, to the point I can sit down on Facebook Live and tell Adama Barrow how I feel, thanks to my brothers and sisters in the diaspora who are not only patriotic in deed, but patriotic in need. They put their monies where their mouths are, they put their bloods on the line to salvage a country that they love, their motherland. So the motherland, to deny them their right of suffrage, I think we on the ground should not only make noise, but should make sure that their rights are protected. We should make sure that what is theirs goes to theirs. If not, we are a group of ungrateful people, and I don't think we are ungrateful. And we don't deserve to be seen as ungrateful, because they have done their fair share. It's now our turn, people on the ground, to do our fair share, to make sure that our brothers and sisters in distant shores have their rights protected, so that they can cast a ballot just like me and you have the opportunity to cast a ballot. Up until then, all is not well, and all is not well because we on the ground are not agitating and pushing for those people to have their rights protected, because the law has already given that. So, before I close, Gambians, I'm a bit emotional, but I'll try to stay logical. I am pleading on us to come with a concerted effort to show this administration where power lies. And power lies within us, we the people. Hence the reason Gambia is a sovereign republic, and sovereign and secular for that matter. So Gambia, mbolo moy dole, te lima mata molen mata, lim mata kenen moma mata. So let's get up, come together, regain our pride and dignity as Gambians. If not, history will not be kind to us. If not, we are not going to gift a better Gambia to the next generation of Gambians. And they deserve a better Gambia from us. There's been a lot of looting, plundering by a group of people, my generation. Because we can say that Yaya Jammeh is part of our generation. So yes, our generation has done a lot of harm to Mother Gambia, and it's high time we fix this harm before we pass on Gambia to the next generation. God bless you all, and I do hope we come together to fix this country and fix it for the betterment of all. Our needs as Gambians may be different and diverse, but despite of the diversity of our needs, we all suffer from the same fate of underdevelopment. Because when now it goes off on all homes, affluent or otherwise. When crime is on the rise, every Gambian suffers. Therefore, my problem is your problem. Your problem is my problem. But for far too long, our collective public and social deliverables have been outsourced to a few to do, and that's why we have failed and failed woefully in putting our politicians and political class to check. Each Gambian citizen must take the responsibility of citizenship seriously and discharge the duties inherent in these rights. We have rights as citizens, but equally we have responsibilities as citizens. And the sooner we give Gambia the responsibility it deserves from us, the sooner Gambia will be heading more towards prosperity than where it is right now. So, God bless you all. God bless the Gambia. And to the Gambia, I will and forever remain true. Thank you.